Hello and welcome back to my small little library. So today's video topic, it's kind of a weird topic because it's nothing I've ever talked about, and most of these books I'm gonna talk about today I've read way before I ever started a YouTube channel or started actually tracking my reading. It was kind of a phase. I love those books still. I do reread them every so often. But yeah, the main time where I kind of like found these books were before I started more seriously collecting books again and more seriously reading books. Obviously, I still read a lot at that time. But yeah, you will see why. I kind of want to talk about my guilty pleasure books, and if you watched some of my other videos, you will probably be surprised because I always talk about how much I hate romance books, and I do think that these books technically all are considered romance books. For me, they're a little bit more into the smut category, so yeah, we're gonna talk about heavily spicy books. But that's just, I don't know, for me it's like a really guilty pleasure. And yeah, I found some really good ones, and I kind of want to share them because I do enjoy reading them, and I think these are really good. So I think probably, yeah, if you aren't into stuff like that, you should probably watch a different video, let's just be honest about that. But yeah, if you are into stuff like that, please feel free to stay. So yeah, let's start with where I read these books, because I think that's kind of like an important thing, because I don't think you would find these books just like out there in a bookstore. I don't even know if these books are published in physical form. I read them all as an ebook, and most of the are from, well, technically all of them I found on Amazon. And part of that is because way before I got my library card again and started, you know, physically collecting books, I had a time where, I don't know, I wanted to read, but I didn't really want to spend the money because I didn't have the money. I was in university, I did work, but, you know, living in Berlin, in Germany, is really expensive. So yeah, I didn't really have the money, I didn't have the space. For some of the time I lived together with my partner in a one-bedroom flat, where it was a one-room flat, if you look at it like that. You know, we had one room and a kitchen. And the kitchen was like, you know, a cupboard size. So yeah, it was a time where we really didn't have any space for anything. So buying books wasn't really a feasible thing. And because I also didn't have a lot of money, I didn't want to buy, you know, $15 books, $10 books, because ebooks can get quite expensive. So I was on the search for some, well, books that didn't cost as much. And then I noticed that Amazon has books you can read with Prime, so you don't have to pay anything if you already pay for Amazon Prime. And then there's a thing called Kindle Unlimited, which I was subscribed to for quite a while. And so you pay, I don't know, 10-15 euros a month. I don't know what you would pay in dollars, but yeah, in euros it's 10 to 15 euros a month, and you have the whole catalog that comes with that you can read for free. Kind of like a library subscription, only that my library is a lot cheaper. But on Amazon you don't have like, you don't have to wait for a book, you know, because there are infinite amounts of the book, you know. Not like in a library where you know, if there are only 3 copies, you have to, well, you know, you have to wait if the 3 copies are gone. So I stopped having Kindle Unlimited a few years ago because there was a situation where I really didn't have any money to spend, so I had to stop my subscription. But yeah, some of these books I bought since then, since I'm now in a financially way better situation and I can actually buy these books. But yeah, if you don't have that much money and you want to, you know, read cheaper books, Amazon Prime and Amazon Kindle Unlimited are really great spaces to do that, to be honest. So yeah, first of all of these books are reverse harem books. So pretty much it's one girl and X amount of guys who get into a relationship together. For me, that is my ultimate guilty pleasure. Like, give me a book with that. There's a good chance I will love that. I have no idea why. I'm a really monogamous person. In my real life, you know, I have one partner, I'm married to that partner, that is it. But in book form, I don't know what that is. I think it has to do with some kind of empowerment, because I think the women in these books feel so badass a lot of the time that I really love that type of thing, you know. But yeah, so if you don't like those kind of books, you probably are wrong here in this video. Yeah, for me, a reverse harem, great books. I tried to read harem books. I'm not into that, to be honest, but I can understand why people would be, you know. It's pretty much just the reverse thing, you know. But yeah, and then these are pretty much sorted into different categories. One of my favorite categories is firefighters. No idea why, I don't even know a firefighter in real life, but there are a lot of great ones out there. Okay, so the first book we have, and pretty much the only one that I could find, the one problem I have, sorry for the tangent, but one problem I have is that I can't find a lot of them because at some point Amazon deletes your history of what you've read, and obviously I never kept track of them. So these are the ones that I could find. Still, there are a lot more out there. There are a lot more great ones out there that I also read. I just cannot find them anymore. So yeah, the firefighter romance that stuck with me the most is Firefighters Next Door, an MFM menage romance, and it's from the Temptation Next Door series, book 6. I haven't read the other ones. There are different characters, you know, you don't have to keep track of the series. And it's by Nicole Casey. Actually, it has really good reviews on Amazon. I love that book, but yeah, it is what it is. 2 guys, firefighters, a girl. She has really bad luck. They take her in and things go from there. It's a really cozy, feel-good romance, you know, even though I technically mostly hate romance, but these ones I really like. So yeah, that one, love it. If you want to read something like that, take this one, absolutely a favorite. But yeah, I don't know, there's something about firefighters, at least if they're sexy, good looking, work out. So then we have the next one, and that is in the magical category. Obviously I'm a big fantasy fan, so couple reverse harem with fantasy, and yeah, you got me, you know. The one I read the most recently, like 3 days ago again, and the one that was the first book I bought after I had enough money again to buy books, is Written. I only ever read Written. It is a whole series, but I'm not interested to see how the relationship continues, and that, you know, I'm not much for romance and stuff like that, but so yeah, I don't know, I'm not interested how this continues. But the first book, Written, is amazing. You have the main character, a girl who comes from a small village, is a librarian. She thinks that she doesn't have any magical abilities, and then she comes to the library to learn at like a really big university, and there she meets 3 professors who live together. They're kind of, well, it's called coven, but covens normally are at least 4 people, and there are still only 3, and they are searching for the 4th. And yeah, it all goes from there. It is really cute. There's a magical battle, there's, you know, a bad thing, and yeah, you have fantasy, but you also have like, the focus is definitely on the reverse harem and the romance between the 4, which is really, really cute, to be honest. So yeah, I really love that book. One of my favorites, probably the one I've read the most of all of these. So Written is by Catherine Moon. Can't forget the author, because I think these authors probably don't get as much recognition as they are deserving to. So yeah, then we come to Supernatural. Big Supernatural fan. I love a good spooky story, you know, and this one I kind of love. I hate enemies to lovers. I really can't deal with that. This one, you have 3 guys who are for her, 1 who's against her. I think it's fine, or like 2 that are with her, 1 against her, I don't know, 3 or 4 guys. And it's called Haunts and Hotels by Jarika James, and it's pretty much, we have our main character who works alone. She is a, what's the name? A ghost hunter, pretty much. She goes to places that are supposed to be haunted, and she investigates there, and she kind of has a knack to find the most haunted places. And then she goes to like a competition, because somebody does like a competition to plot all of these, like, you know, ghost hunter teams against one another, and there she meets the boys, who are probably like her biggest enemy, and like the space, they always are like, oh, everything she does she fakes because she finds so much, and then it goes from there, you know. Big fan of that book, even though I hate the enemies to lovers, but I don't know, the complete story is just like, it's a good you know, it's scary at times actually, which I found quite funny, like in retrospect, but yeah. So that is also one I've read, cried a lot, to be honest. So yeah, then let's talk about the one that will definitely make you cry if you read it, which is maybe kind of weird, but the book is called Petrichor by, let me look at it, Helen Goddard. And this one, it is so sad. It will just make you cry, but it's so relatable. We have our main character. Oh, you see, this is also a firefighter romance. I totally forgot that. So technically it's a second firefighter romance, but that's not the focus in here. But we have our main character, Poppy, and she has a twin brother, and her twin brother is a firefighter, and they also have like a bakery together. And she kind of like does most of the bakery stuff, and obviously when he is not on firefighter duty, he, you know, comes back to her. And then there are his three friends, and the book starts with Poppy's twin brother dying on duty. And obviously she's really depressed after that. She's really sad, and after a while, the three best friends who always had something for her, but obviously her brother was like, no, that's my sister. But yeah, obviously the three at some point start trying to pick her up again and, you know, make her happy again. And that is, you know, you will bawl your eyes out. It is a really, really sad book, and it's a really, really cozy, feel-good book in the end, you know? So yeah, I love that one. If I'm in a bad mood, that always gets me. So that one definitely. Also, I'm just seeing, because I pulled it up on Amazon, because this is one I never got to buy. I didn't have to, while I had Kindle Unlimited, you know. You can buy this as a paperback. So I might do that, if I'm honest. Because I really love that book. I don't have a category for it in my library because I don't own really any romance books, so I don't know where I would put it because it is a contemporary romance. But yeah, I might just go ahead and buy that because I really love that book. And if you need a good cry, you know, and then feel really, really happy afterwards, that one is really great. Okay, and then we have two other ones left. One is called Four on the Floor, and that is by Parker Gray. That is one where our main character and three guys in a band. I mean, it's a really great, like a really big rock band, you know. They all go to this retreat where people kind of like keep a hotel warm and ice free in the winter season on like a mountain where you can't really leave, so that somebody is there and the people who own the hotel, you know, go away, and they don't have to pay for that, but they have like a retreat. And our main character is an artist, and so she goes on this retreat to paint, and the band just want to, you know, have a second for themselves because they were on tour and fans are a lot, you know, stuff like that. And obviously they meet whilst on the retreat, and things go from there. I love that one. It's great fun. This is one of those who are just fun to read, you know. So yeah, definitely recommend that. Obviously, I recommend all of these, you know. And the last one is a little bit different because I feel like the premise is just different because our main character here comes into this as like a kind of mate figure. The book, well, the first book, it is a series. I read them all actually, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't happen often. It's called Charmed by Them by Serena Ackroyd. And we have our main character who kind of, you know, she worked as a nanny before and she searches for a new job and finds this job listing as like a live-in housekeeper, kind of, you know, for this bachelor pad. And all of the guys are, you know, they are university professors, like really smart people, and they kind of all don't really want to keep house, or like don't really have time for that, or their interests just like, you know, in other spaces. They all don't have wives or girlfriends or partners in any way, and so they're looking for somebody to keep house for them. And yeah, it goes from there, obviously. But yeah, it's a really cute series because each of the book focuses on a different one of the guys, and you know, there are different intensities of the spiciness of these books. That's the last one. I've read that whole series. a lot of the times I'm not interested to continue with the series because it often means trouble or like a break in the relationship, and I'm not really the biggest fan of that. But these ones, well, especially Charmed by Them, there isn't. It's really more of like setting the focus on a different of the guys, and so that is really, really great. So yeah, I could talk a lot more about a lot of the other ones. I just cannot find them. There was one where there's a girl who has like really bad social anxiety, like to the point where she can't leave her house because something happened to her, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, she's pretty much afraid for her life, and then there come these three guys who are already different, and you know, they really try hard for her and make it possible so that she doesn't have to leave her, stuff like that. It's a really great book. I just cannot for the life of me remember the title, so I can't show you that. But yeah, that is pretty much what my guilty pleasures in the book world look like. A little bit out there, to be honest, but I love them. And I don't think we should be ashamed of the books that we read. For a long time in the beginning I was kind of ashamed of that. I grew up with that. You don't read stuff like that. You don't. It's a weird thing, I think, today, because obviously I'm nearly 30, so I grew up with a lot of like different ideas. I grew up with, you know, being the strong, independent woman, but at the same time, don't talk about sexuality. It was a weird time, you know. But yeah, I love those books, and those are my guilty pleasures. I'm absolutely not into like normal romance novels. Can't do that, but you know, give me one girl and a lot of guys, and I'm loving it. So yeah, hopefully that video was kind of interesting. If you have some really good ones, maybe if you read the same guilty pleasure novels as I do, leave them down below. Maybe I can find some of the ones I am missing, because some of the ones I have in my head, you know, really vividly, and I loved them so much, but I just cannot remember, which is really sad, to be honest, which is why I track my reading now, so that can't happen again. But yeah, obviously because of that I'm missing a lot of these. But yeah, leave a comment with your guilty pleasures, maybe leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, hopefully you will come back to the next video, and yeah, bye bye.